What's going on, guys? I'm your host from the East Coast, Jinder Man 94, here to give you guys my WWE Smackdown Live review for November 1st, 2016. Now, we kicked off Smackdown with James Ellsworth coming out to the ring to actually drop a promo by itself. Yeah, they gave him some promo time. You could just tell by the look on his face that he knows that he messed up last week. AJ Styles had been egging him on the past couple of weeks and just, messing with him, and he finally snapped last week, but it costed Dean Ambrose a chance at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So he came out there, trying to apologize, and he was pretty much just telling the WWE Universe goodbye, because after his actions last week, he can't do this anymore. He can't live with the fact that he costed Dean an opportunity. He feels so bad, and he can't really go on any longer. So he calls Dean out so he can apologize to his face. Give him credit for that. The guy has balls. He called Dean out, knowing Dean was going to be pissed at him. So Dean came out, said he's had time to think about it. At the time, he wanted to hurt James so bad, but after thinking it over, he can't stay mad at him for too long. And he says, you don't even need to apologize. It was my fault. I had you out there. Don't even worry about it. And he was just persistent about apologizing. He was just like, but I costed you that match last week, and after all you've done for me, you got me 2 wins over AJ Styles. I wouldn't have done that without you. And then how do I repay you? I come out here and I mess up your whole match. So I feel really bad about it. I just really need to apologize. And then he apologized to him. So Dean was just like, you know what? It's okay. Don't worry about it. Just stay out of my way next time. We're cool. Just don't get in my way next time. Like ever again. Yeah, so after he apologized to Dean, AJ Styles came out and was like, you don't need to apologize to this guy. He says Dean's just been using him and doesn't respect you. He said he was going to take it easy on him in the title match, but Dean Ambrose was egging him on the whole time, and that's the reason why he was punching him a little harder, kicking him a little harder. He says he owes his whole career. He should owe his whole career to AJ Styles, and that's the guy he should be apologizing to. And then that's when Dean got into his face and was like, he don't need to apologize to you for anything, so you better get the going. And then James was trying to separate them, and all of that good stuff. Dean was like, well, at least I respect James to come out here and do things the honorable way instead of like you, how you had to kick me in the groin to win the title from me. And as he's trying to separate him, AJ Styles pushes James Ellsworth into Dean Ambrose. And then AJ hits a Pele kick on him. Or, no, he hit an enziguri on Dean. Throws James Ellsworth out the ring. And then hits a phenomenal forearm onto Dean Ambrose. So it seemed like James got in the way again. But he was just trying to separate them from arguing. So backstage, James Ellsworth and Dean are, still arguing. He's still trying to apologize for what just happened. Daniel Bryan comes up. And he was just like, all right, guys, you got to chill with this. Like, chill. Dean, you'll get your shot at AJ Styles tonight. If you win, you're the #1 contender. James Ellsworth, under any circumstances, do not go to the ring. Please don't do it. He was like, okay, that's fine. So Dean gets his shot again to become the #1 contender for the World Heavyweight or for the WWE World Championship. So that's good. At least, Daniel Bryan realized that James made a mistake last week, so he's not going to punish Dean for it. So that was good. So then we had the first match, which was Kane versus Randy Orton in a no disqualification match. After the events that took place last week, Kane demanded this match because Kane was facing Bray Wyatt in a no DQ match, and Luke Harper came out to help Bray. And then Randy Orton came out seemingly to help Kane, but winded up hitting him with an RKO out of nowhere. And now Kane wants this match so he can exact his revenge onto young Randy Orton. He's not young anymore, but he's younger than Kane. So, during the match, the Wyatt family appeared on the outside of the ring, and that's when they started to attack Kane, which led to an RKO by Orton for the win. And then he had a stare down with Harper, who doesn't seem to be believing the fact that Randy Orton wants to join them. So Harper got Kane up and hit him with the flying or the spinning clothesline, whatever he does. And then Bray followed suit, and Randy assisted him to serve Kane up for his sister Abigail. And then, Randy got on the top rope and did his little pose. And Bray Wyatt was just, on the ground, followed the buzzards. And it was, it was weird. Like I said last week, I didn't expect Orton to join the Wyatt family, but I still think it's an inside job. Still think he's trying to learn the ways of the Wyatt family before he completely ruins the whole establishment the same way Daniel Bryan did when he turned on him. So we'll see where that goes. We had a tag team match in the women's division. Alexa Bliss and Carmella versus Nikki Bella and Becky Lynch. The match didn't go that long. It was a solid match. Alexa Bliss gained momentum heading into her championship match next week against Becky Lynch, as she capitalized off of a Carmella distraction to hit Becky with this DDT move that she's doing now, and she was able to pick up the win for her team. Alexa and Carmella after the match went on a rant about the women's division on Raw, because if you heard Charlotte on Raw, she sent the warning to every woman on SmackDown. So Alexa was pretty much, so Carmella was just saying, we'll take out Charlotte, we'll take out Bayley, and they're good friends, and she sent shots at Bayley, so I thought that was pretty funny. And then Alexa was like, Becky's 15 minutes of fame are over, she's going to take the title from her next week on SmackDown Live, and she says something about being the Wicked Witch of SmackDown, and she's coming for her pretty or something, I don't know, it was just weird. It was okay though. Naomi is going to be the official 5th member of the SmackDown Live women's team, and Natalya wanted to coach the women's team to victory, and Shane thought it was a good idea, so he let her. Then after that, we had a SmackDown Survivor Series tag team qualifying match. Team SmackDown's going to have 5 teams, Raw's going to have 5 teams. That's going to be just insane. It's going to be 5 teams on 5 teams. That means 10 people against 10 people. A 20-man tag team match? Really? Where Teddy Long at? I'm sure he's behind this match. I know he is. We had the Spirit Squad versus American Alpha. They made short work of the Spirit Squad. It wasn't that competitive of a match. And they've qualified to be on the SmackDown Live tag team match team gimmick team. 20 people on team, yeah, that. So yeah, American Alpha has advanced. I think they just need one more team now to qualify next week, and then the whole team is set. After that, we had a Miz TV segment with Daniel Bryan. They talk about Survivor Series. He announces the 5 men that will be on the SmackDown Live men's team heading into Survivor Series. He says it was Baron Corbin, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton, Dean Ambrose, and AJ Styles. And Miz is livid about it. He was angry. He was like, I wasn't even considered. Daniel was like, nope. He just kept asking questions. Daniel was like, nope. It was funny, actually. Because, you know, they've had heat with each other over the past couple of weeks. Ever since that Talking Smack segment, they've just been, you know, at each other's necks pretty much. Daniel Bryan said Miz actually was considered, but since he was afraid to fight Dolph Ziggler last week, after giving him a chance to become, or to have an Intercontinental Championship match, and Miz denied it, he said they don't need somebody like that on the team. They need men who are going to fight for their teams right, on their terms. Because Miz said he wasn't going to fight because it wasn't on his terms. So they didn't need nobody like that on the SmackDown Live team. I'm like, well, that actually kind of makes sense, because if you're afraid to fight Dolph Ziggler on his terms, then what makes you think they're going to consider you for a team that they need to beat Raw with? They're not going to do it. They're just going to leave you off the team completely. Miz said he isn't afraid to fight. Daniel is the one that's actually afraid to fight. And he should do what he's best at, which is moping around John Cena's house on Total Bellas. I'm just like, oh, snap. Shots fired. Miz sent some shots at Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was pissed at this point. He threw the chair he was sitting in out of the ring. He was angry. He was pissed. I was just like, oh my God. He finally snapped on the Miz. He said the Miz isn't even good at wrestling. He should go over there to the commentary desk and talk all the smack you want about him and all that good stuff. Dolph Ziggler is going to come out here and have an Intercontinental Championship open challenge against anybody in the back who actually wants the opportunity and isn't afraid to take it like you are. So, yeah, he went off on the Miz. And then Dolph Ziggler came out, and the person who accepted the challenge for the Intercontinental Championship was Curt Hawkins. So I guess Dolph Ziggler was supposed to face the facts. Like, Kurt Hawkins is a joke. Okay, I think this was his first official match, and it was for the Intercontinental Championship. And you know what happened? He took his gear off. The bell rung. He turned around and got hit with a super kick, and it was over. That was it. He took everything off. The bell rang. Turned around. Super kick. 1, 2, 3. I'm just like, really? That's how we gonna debut this guy? What was the point of him coming back to the WWE? Like, really? Like, okay, he has this whole gimmick now, the Face the Facts gimmick that I think he kind of stole from Tyson Kidd, but that's neither here nor there. You have this, oh my god, that didn't make any sense. I know maybe he's not meant to be taken seriously then. That's my fault for potentially thinking they were investing into this guy. So yeah, he lost in like 3 seconds. That was pretty much it. Bell rung, super kick, it was over. After the match, Dolph said since Miz denied himself a rematch last week when Dolph offered him, he's challenging any man on the Raw roster to another Intercontinental Championship Open challenge at Survivor Series. Anybody who thinks they're man enough to come and accept the challenge can come and accept the challenge, because Miz obviously isn't man enough to do it. Miz was pissed off, like, no, you're not going to do this. This is not going to happen. And Dolph was like, hey, see you later. Peace out. After that, we had Dean in the back doing a little interview, saying he's going to beat AJ Styles, and James Ellsworth isn't going to be in his way. And then he looks over, and James Ellsworth is off to the side of him or whatever, still moping and still had that same face. And he was begging to be at ringside. I'm just like, didn't D-Bry just tell you not to be at ringside at any point during that match? Don't get involved. And he still wants to get involved. And Dean was just like, dude, did you not listen? No, you're not being at ringside. No, absolutely not. Hell no. And then he was just like, nope, we'll hang out later. Just go chill. Just go do whatever. And he walks away from him. Bray Wyatt, in his little eerie backstage area, talking to Randy Orton. He says, it's skeptical that he wants to join the Wyatt family because he's a snake. He's conniving and he can turn on them at any point in time. But with those qualities, he's welcome into the Wyatt family because of it. And Randy said he was born with the devil in his ear, and he's done trying to fight it. And he also says Bray is a god. And then they did like these little effects where Randy's eyes glowed, like kind of like he was possessed a little bit. I thought that was like a cool added touch to it. Just little things like that just help a segment like that. Randy said he was a god, and then the little things lighted up in his face. I'm just like, oh, okay, that was pretty weird. But it helps the mystique of the Wyatt family. So we'll see where this goes. Like I said, this is very interesting, though. This is the most interesting thing Bray has done, other than the New Day, probably since he's been in the WWE. Well, the Dan and Bryan thing. Since that, and that was a while ago. So ever since that, it's been downhill for Bray. But hopefully this is one of those feuds that'll, give him some momentum going forward and eventually leading to him being WWE World Champion. But we'll see. We had another SmackDown Tag Team, Survivor Series Tag Team qualifying match. We had the Usos versus the Headbangers. Once again, this match didn't go that long either. Most of the matches didn't go that long. I think they were just trying to give Dean Ambrose and AJ Styles time in the main event. But the Usos, like, right off their entrance, got right into the ring and attacked the Headbangers before the match even got started. And I love the Usos for this, man. They're badass as hell. I swear, like, if them and Roman Reigns in the future reunited to actually form the true Samoan dynasty, they would be unstoppable. It would be sweet. With the way the Usos are now, oh my god, it's going to be only a matter of time before they take back the tag team championships. It's only a matter of time. The Usos rolled the Headbangers up for the win. But I just love what they're doing. Like, I love how they've, found themselves again. They've gone back to their Samoan ways. And they're more devastating than they've ever been. So I just love what the Usos are doing. Their new look, new entrance music, all of it. It just works for them. They're great. And I've always been a fan of the Usos, but even now, that they're heels now. Like, I just love what they're doing. So kudos to them for finding themselves again and changing it up a little bit. We had AJ on his way to the ring. He got stopped and, said he was just going to beat up Dean Ambrose, and James Ellsworth wasn't going to be there. They pretty much said the same thing Dean did. But Dean was escorting James Ellsworth out of the building to make sure that he doesn't get in his way and to make sure he doesn't interfere in the match or, cost him another chance at the WWE World Championship. He was just like, hey, we'll hang out later. You got my number. Any man with two hands can call an Uber and get the hell up out of here. I was dying, man. Dean is hilarious. Him being on SmackDown is probably the best thing for his career at this point, because he is just hilarious. He just says these things that are funny, and then he looks legit when he's actually in the ring doing stuff, because he's winning these matches that count the most. Other than the match that he got costed last week, but he's doing great. Okay, that's the main point. So we did have Dean Ambrose versus AJ Styles in the main event, and if Dean wins, he's the number one contender for the WWE World Championship. This was a great match, and I'm kind of upset that they gave it away on SmackDown. Even though it was a very, very enjoyable match for me to watch, I'm just like upset that we gave it away so early. Even though we're not going to see it until December at TLC. As they announced on Talking Smack. But it was still a great match. I can't even hate on it. It was a great match. Aggressively physical contest. I just wish they hadn't gave it away so early, man. But at TLC, it's going to be even better, because it's not going to be just your standard wrestling match, which I think is key, because they're going to have a TLC match because Dean actually wins this match. But it was just, let me just talk about this match for a minute. Like, their chemistry together is just amazing. They know how to push each other to each other's limits. They went back and forth for a majority of the match. Dean was pretty much ahead in the match. And then James Ellsworth came out of the crowd. And at that point, I was just like, oh, God, he's about to cost them the match. Please, no. He just got to ringside and was just like, yeah, Dean, let's go. Dean looked at him like, dude, are you serious? Are you serious? I escorted you out of the building and you're back. Whatever. He turned around, got kicked in the head, and then I'm just like, oh, God, please don't let that beat him. And then he kicked out at 2. And James was like, woo, that was a close one. And then you see 4 security guards from the back come down and go straight after Ellsworth, who hops back into the crowd and runs away. And Dean was just like, all right, he's gone. Let me focus on this match again. So, they're still going. They're still wrestling. And then this man comes back out through the crowd, still being chased by security, tries to hop into the ring. They snatch him up out of there, and they start dragging him away. AJ got distracted, and they were, taking him by the announce table. AJ got out of the ring and pushed him, and he flew over the announce table. I lie to you not. AJ Styles is not the biggest guy, but James Ellsworth is small compared to AJ Styles. AJ got out of the ring and, blindsided him, pushed him over the announce table into the commentators. I'm just like, dang, that man is dead again. But it was just crazy. The crowd went crazy for it. He just died, man. He died. So AJ, off of that distraction, gets into the ring, tries to hit the calf crusher onto Dean. He fought out of it, and then he tried the phenomenal forearm, and he got caught because he was distracted by James Ellsworth. And Dean hit the dirty deeds and was able to pick up the win off of that. So James Ellsworth's efforts didn't go to hell like they did last week. Dean was able to pick up the win. He's the new number one contender. He'll have a TLC match against AJ Styles on December 4th at the TLC pay-per-view. And James Ellsworth got dragged away with a smile on his face because he didn't ruin the match like he almost did. If it wasn't for the security, he probably would have ruined the match, to be honest. So thank God for the security. So they dragged him away. Dean was walking past him as he was heading to the back. Picked him up, hugged him, let him know everything was alright. Shook his head at him like, dude, you're freaking crazy. I'm going to kill you. And just walked away. And they just proceeded to drag him out of the arena again. But it was cool. It was a fine episode of SmackDown. It was a solid episode of SmackDown. Was it better than Raw? Yeah. Sad to say, but it was. Uh Raw was I said Raw was a good show, but it was good compared to the bad Raws we've been getting. But it was okay. SmackDown, on the other hand, I enjoyed it. You know, they're building up towards Survivor Series and all the matches that are going to happen. So, nothing wrong with that. So I want to know what you guys thought of SmackDown. Did you guys enjoy it? Did you think Raw was better than SmackDown for the week? Let me know in the comment section down below. Slap a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you guys are new. And I'll talk to you guys later on. Peace.